Hello, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Football. It's finished. Manchester United 6, Leeds 2. And show of hands, who thought that was, who predicted that scoreline? Who predicted that scoreline? I didn't. I definitely didn't, but I don't know if anybody did. I mean, some people might have predicted Leeds 6, Manchester United 2. I would have believed that if that had happened. But I mean, the other way around, when was the last time United scored 6 goals in a game? I can't remember the last time that happened. But a good performance, a dominant performance of Manchester United, start to finish, really good. There were a few concerns, there were a few negative points, and don't want to dwell on it, but there were things that I noticed that maybe United need to work on. But my God, that was. But otherwise, overall, I mean, that was just a stunning performance. And in part aided by what Leeds United did and how they approached this game. And I mean, you have to talk about that from a Leeds perspective. I think they left a lot of acres and acres of space between midfield and defense. And I think the issue was each time, the tone was set. Leeds, win the ball, they immediately try to play it long, or they're trying to play, big passes straight through to their wingers. That was the idea. That was the intent. Essentially, trying to, break up the split the fullbacks away. Try to make the defenders, United's defenders, kind of like panic or trying to get them to split. And so each time every time Leeds had the ball, it was always going wide. Both goals. I mean, the first goal came from a corner, but the second goal was actually a result of a little bit of sloppiness. But a lot of the chances that came actually from crosses and from those long diagonals that they were hitting. So that's the what diagonals they were hitting, diagonal balls. But the problem with that was. United kind of knew that was going to plan. And I think Solskjaer got a spot on when he started Luke Shaw today, because I think he needed that defensive application that Shaw provides that Telles probably does not. So he started Luke Shaw, and every time, United, every time Leeds tried the diagonal, United kind of dropped back. And they were helped, of course, having Fred in there. I think Fred was critical in that role where, he helps and he can actually make ground up. So I thought Fred was probably the most Leeds-esque player in Man United's mid team today, actually. So it helped that they had someone like that. So even every time those five were kind of dropping in, the thing was when they won the ball back, Leeds were engaging. Even though the thing about Leeds is it's always about playing as if it's 0-0. So the wheels keep spinning. Even if things are not working, they keep trying. But what was happening was each time the ball was being played, Leeds were breaking very quickly up the pitch, and that's great. But when they lost the ball, the thing was United players that could really go further up the other end. So they weren't prepared for that. And basically what was happening was United won the ball and they were quickly switching it forward. And I think Bielsa underestimated United a little bit. He underestimated that midfield and defense a little bit. He didn't realize. And I think, to be fair, not a lot of us probably didn't expect United to play the way that they were playing, with McTominay bombing forward. McTominay almost playing like a Yaya Toure today. I think he channeled his inner Yaya Toure today. That's what it reminded me of, the way he was just running, gliding with the ball. And both of his goals pretty much came from that sort of the mistakes that Leeds were making, and that they were pushing players too far up, even though they were not getting that joy down the wings. They were still pushing players up, and so it was leaving that gap in between midfield and attack, where United's midfielders and their attackers were just like, okay, just give us the ball, and then it was just like breaking away and creating all sorts of problems, and Leeds couldn't deal with that. The first two goals, I thought McTominay's goals were very good. And there's a lot of people today who'll be obviously praising McTominay, and I've been talking consistently that I think is a good player. He's not world class, but he's a good player. He does his job. He knows what his job is, and he does his job. The issue is with McTominay is that he's not a lone CDM. He can't play as a lone CDM. He can't. But he does it because he's the only player who's close enough who can do it. Fred can't do it. Donny can't do it. Matic is too old. Pogba can't do it. So the only player who can sort of do it is McTominay. So he's got to keep doing that. And that's not his natural game. So obviously he doesn't look good. Or obviously he doesn't give you the kind of returns that a proper CDM would. But today, he showed that other side of his game, which is he can bomb forward, he can go forward, he can actually do a lot going forward. He is a box-to-box midfielder. The question is he a better box-to-box? Is he the best box-to-box midfielder that United have? I can't think of too many box-to-box midfielders that United have. Maybe Donny van de Beek could do that. Fred is nominally a box-to-box midfielder, but he's not that good. He's not as good going forward as McTominay is or Van de Beek is. I'm not sure Van de Beek is as good defensively as McTominay is. I think McTominay kind of gives you a little bit of everything, and that's why he starts, because he gives you a little bit of everything. But you need specialists. But today it worked out. And he just kept going forward, and there was a lot of joy even beyond the two goals. I thought the first goal was very well taken, but we've seen this before from McTominay, where he comes in late and then he just hits one, like bends it, or sometimes bends it outward into the corner. He's done that. He did that against Arsenal last season. He did that again today. And that he's got a very sweet strike, but that's because he grew up as a centre forward. He was a centre forward and attacking midfielder when he came to the youth ranks. Those were his positions. I think now he's become more of a CM, CDM. He plays a centre back as well for Scotland. So he's a bit of a jack of all trades kind of footballer. But brilliantly 2 goals. I thought Bruno's goal was well taken as well, and then Daniel James scoring a goal. And Daniel James's goal, the 5th goal, I thought the 4th goal was a bit fortunate, because I thought Martial was heading it towards goal, but it kind of became a flick on, and then Lindelof was there to tap it in, which was great. The 5th goal was interesting because I never thought, when was the last time we saw United score 6 goals? But when was the last time? And I cannot remember the last time. I don't think there was the last time. But when was the last time you saw Wan-Bissaka put in a cross with his left foot? That's what he did. He put in a cross with his left foot for Scott McTominay. Because he was playing left back, because that was how they had switched, for the corner. So he puts in a cross with his left foot that actually finds McTominay. He puts in crosses with his right foot, which never find a player, or rarely find a player, but he puts one with his left foot, which actually finds McTominay. And then McTominay runs down. I think Rashford was expecting a pass, but he doesn't pass it to Rashford, which in some ways probably was the right decision. I thought Daniel James took that on very well. And that the first touch from Daniel James was excellent. And the way he then just glided past the defender and then just slots it between. I didn't think Daniel James was capable of such kind of goals, where he slots it in between the goalkeeper's legs. I think MUNLEE should have done better there, but I don't know whether that was intentional from Daniel James. I'm assuming it was, but maybe he just mishit it. I don't know what it was, but I think MUNLEE should have done better, but it goes between his legs. It's a great finish in some ways. But that was a good goal. I thought that was a pick of my goals, just because of the things that we have not seen. Daniel James rarely ever scores. The last time he scored in the Premier League was actually more than a year ago. So he scored a goal in the Premier League after so long. You see Scott McTominay almost because you see I think that was peak Yaya Toure, Scott McTominay there. Not peak Yaya Toure in the sense that Yaya Toure, that was his peak. But what I mean is that was Scott McTominay really channeling his Yaya Toure, the way he was running and amazing his runs around. Obviously Yaya Toure was a much better player than Scott McTominay is today. But he did that, and after that, and before that, seeing Wan-Bissaka make that left foot cross, which that just made my day. Say, okay, well, when you think you've seen it all, and then you see something like that. That was my pick of the goals, the 5th goal. But there were a few negatives, and it would not be remiss not to touch on them. I think we need to touch on that as well. There's not too many, but I think one, the defense still looks shaky, and that could be because of the way Leeds play. Leeds are very, very high energy, very demanding. You've got to be on at 90 minutes if you're going to beat Leeds. And it's difficult for teams to do that, and I kind of understand that. But there were a few chances. Bamford had that chance to make it 2-1, which if he had taken would have been a whole different game, because you've seen United get early leads and then just throw it away, and that could have happened. There was another chance in the second half. I think it was Rafinha who hit the ball, and De Gea made a good save, and it bounces off the post, which another day could have just gone in even after the save, but it bounces off the post. And then luckily it hits Maguire and goes the other side, because again, it could have hit Maguire and gone in, but it goes the other side. So there were nervy moments, and I said that those diagonal balls, when they got them right, Leeds didn't get them right every time, but when they got them right, especially in that second half, they were causing lots of issues for Manchester United. The other issue I thought was once they went 3-0 up, I think the mindset changed. I think up until 2-0, 3-0, they were actually on it. They were really focused. They were like, we're going to drive, we're going to hit, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They had a clear idea of what they wanted to do. I think after 3-0, there was a little bit of complacency in that game. I think there was a chance for Shaw where he was like casually, he didn't realize Rafinha was behind him. He was casually took it on his leg, and another day it could have hit him, gone anywhere, but it was lucky that it went out. There was the chance that Wan-Bissaka kind of missed the header with, and it could, again, on the day, that could have been a goal as well. So there was a lot of casual play. I think there was even that moment where Fred and McTominay kind of both were waiting for the other person to kind of collect it, and neither one did, and then there was another chance in the first half. So that is something that I think needs to be addressed. I think in this game it didn't affect them, but a 3-0 lead against Leeds is not a 3-0 lead against the Sheffield United or a Newcastle. It's not that. All due respect to those teams, because Leeds are going to come hard at you. And to be honest, I think until it was 5-1, I thought Leeds could still pull it off. They could still draw this game at the very least. So and that's credit to Leeds, the way that they play. So United, that's got to be taken out of their psyche. It can affect them in other games where you sometimes it's too casual. And that's not it's fair enough if a team breaks you down, if a team gets through you, and those kind of things happen. But to be casual and to make mistakes like that is actually kind of unacceptable. So that was one issue. And the other issue for me was Martial's finishing. I thought Martial was good today. He got an assist, 2 assists. He got the assist from McTominay's second goal, and the one that Lindelof scored, which I don't think he meant it, but nonetheless he got 2 assists. I thought he had overall. I thought he played okay. He played well. 7 out of 10 performance. If we do those kind of ratings, but his finishing was off today. I think he had two good chances that a striker. I mean, the first one right at the start of the second half. It's a routine finish. If you're watching FIFA, it's just a simple. You go on, you press O, and it goes in. And I know life is not FIFA, but that's the striker's bread and butter finish. He's done all the hard work. He gets through, and all he's got to do is bend it into the corner. He's just got not even bend it. He's just got to hit it in the corner, and it goes in because MUNLEE is beaten from there. No goalkeeper saving that as long as you get it on target, and he didn't. And I thought that was one of the misses. I thought, that could cost United because that was 4-1 at that point. I thought if Leeds go on the other end and score a goal, it's going to make things worse. But luckily it didn't cost them, but that was a mess. There was another one where again, he got through, and then again, it's actually not that difficult to finish. Just hitting it. And if you had picked out the corner, MUNLEE saved this one. So this one he got on target, but if you had caught it in the corner, it would have been a goal. But he missed it. He just hit it straight. It was too central, and MUNLEE saved it. And again, these misses didn't affect them in this game. But then there are crucial games where these kind of chances, like the Europa League semi-final, like the game against games against Manchester City. Chances come at a premium, and you've got to take them. Even against Arsenal, for that matter. When it wasn't Martial who missed them. But these kind of chances when strikers miss it, they don't affect you in this game, but they come to haunt you in games where chances are at a premium. And then Martial has this issue where he misses these kind of chances too often for my liking, and that's what's stopping him from becoming a top striker. He's got everything else. He's got the link up play. He's got the heading ability. He's got the physicality, the pace. He's got the athleticism. He's got the technical ability. He can dribble. He can do everything except that last part, which is that clinical finishing. And it's not that he's a bad finisher. He's just not clinical enough, and he needs to be that if he's going to score. If he's going to become a top striker, that's what's holding him back. That clinicality in finishing. And to me, that's the problem for Rashford as well. By the way, Marcus Rashford also has everything else, except probably not the hold-up play that Martial has. He doesn't have the hold-up play, but everything else he has for a winger, except that finishing. He can't, if those two players could improve their finishing, I tell you what, we could have, United could have two gem of players, really, like two players who could really lead them onto better things. But the finishing is what holds them back. And Cavani missed a good chance as well towards the end there. Again, I thought he should have scored that. Hitting it too central, the goalkeeper saves it, falls to Daniel James. He should also score, but his chance was a little bit difficult because it was on the volley, so it was a little bit easier to save for MUNLEE. But Cavani definitely should have scored that one as well. So strikers missing chances, and it doesn't affect them in these sort of games. But these are sort of games where if you get those right, then the games that come, you're not always going to have games like against Leeds where you're going to get 8 shots or 9 shots on target. You're going to have games where you're only going to get 3 or 4, and having players who can score 2 or 3 of those 4 chances makes a big difference. And you need those kind of players, and you need to have that kind of instinct. So that was a negative for me, a small negative. Again, these are not big deals, and in this game it's not a big deal, but these can affect you in future games. So that's something to keep in mind. But big kudos to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for getting his tactics right. I thought he got spot on. He could have easily tried to park the bus, player back 5 and try and play on the break. He didn't do that. He played an enterprising team. I thought selecting Daniel James was a masterstroke because he had that pace that I think Mason Greenwood, he doesn't have that breakneck pace. And also sometimes, he can get kind of isolated on that right wing. What Daniel James offers is that back and forth running. And so he had that support for Wan-Bissaka if, he needed. So I thought that was very good. I thought selecting McTominay and Fred was again good. I was happy that he didn't fall into the trap of selecting Paul Pogba, because I thought he might do that he might select Paul Pogba because Pogba had a good game against Sheffield United, but he didn't do that. He selected Fred and McTominay, with McTominay having the license to go forward and trying to get goals or trying to link up play. I thought that was brilliant. And these are things that we have to credit him on. And I know we all kind of criticize him for the things that he gets wrong. So today he got it right. He got a spot on today with everything that he did. I thought Leeds played a little bit into his hands, and the thing about Leeds, when I watched him, and I watched him in a few games this season, the thing about Leeds is I think Bielsa's tactics are brilliant. The way they play is amazing. It's exciting. It's like you can't take your eyes off of it. And Leeds always look, even at 4-1, as I said, even at 4-1, I thought Leeds can come back into this game if United allow them and be sloppy in defense. It didn't happen today, but that's the threat Leeds carry. The problem for Leeds is that their tactics are great. Their players can't always execute. If they have upgrades, if they can get upgrades on certain players in certain positions, they'll be a threat to be reckoned with next season. So it's just a matter of finding players that can execute the plans. At the moment, they don't have that. When they have that, they will be a team to be reckoned with. Whether will they have that? That I think it remains to be seen. But I mean, at the match day has to be Scott McTominay. I think that I think is pretty obvious. I don't think you can go further than that. It was amazing, incredible. Not just the 2 goals, but the way he also got an assist, which for me was the goal of the game. But for all different reasons. I know everybody has their own pick, but he even played well. I think he did a lot of good defensive work. He was at fault probably for the first Leeds goal, but other than that, I think he was pretty solid defensively. He was good going forward. I think he had the license and he knew exactly what he needed to do. But anyway, that's the review. Manchester United 6, Leeds 2, final score. Let me know what you thought of this game. Were you surprised as I was? I mean, I had 2 goals in the first 3 minutes. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe what I'm seeing. But at the same time, you're wondering, is this going to be the calm before the storm where Leeds just come back and win 5-2 or something? But credit to Manchester United, they did really well. Let me know what you thought in the comment section. I think this is a good. I mean, I know people will go overboard and talk about title challenges. I don't think that's going to be talked about. I don't think that should be talked about at this point. I think for United right now, the big game is against Everton in the Carabao Cup, and that is going to be a massive game. No which way you slice it, and then they've got Leicester, which if they win that, then you could talk. It depends on how they play, because Solskjaer can be very good in one game and very bad the next game. So I think it's about taking each game at a time. I don't think any team is in a title challenge. That's just my opinion. But I know people will kind of talk about title challenges at this point. But I think United don't need that at the moment. I think they just need to focus on trying to make sure that they get into the top 4, because that is, if they focus on that right now, they can think about the title challenge, towards the end of the season if they're still in the running for that. But anyway, let me know what you think about all these different thoughts and different ideas that are going on. Let me know in the comment section what do you think. Smash a like if you enjoyed this video, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we appreciate the support, and I want it will help me in keeping on producing content for you guys in this way. So we're back again. We'll probably do Carabao Cup match reactions. Probably not all of them, but probably maybe a couple. Depending on schedules, and then we'll be back with the match preview. There's, by the way, there's some surprise that's going to come this week, so stay tuned. We're going to have something very, very exciting for you this week. So keep an eye out for that, and therefore subscribe so you can keep getting notified. But have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching this. Hope enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.